Hello, my name is Rossella and today I'm going to do chapter 1 in this book. If you haven't done it yet, click on the red button there and subscribe to my channel to be the first one to watch my next video. You can find me on Facebook, Theory Virtuoso, and Instagram, Theory Virtuoso. And you can also visit my website, theoryvirtuoso.com, where you can find all the videos that I publish. There are music theory videos where you can revise and improve your knowledge, musical quizzes where you can test your knowledge, tutorials on discovering music theory, sample and past exam papers from the online format 2020, and piano tutorials to improve your piano performance too. Thank you for watching. Bye! This chapter 1 is relating to rhythm, and we have the breve and breve rest. The breve is the longest note that we use in music, in classical music, despite the fact that breve means short, in fact. Now the breve is twice the semi-breve. So the semi-breve is 4/4, the breve is 8/4, then is simplified as 4 halves. Therefore, 4 minims. Now in exercise 1, we need to do some maths calculations. A breve is equal to 2 semi-brevi, and also remember that semi always means half. So breve, semi-breve, minim, semi-minim, which is in fact called crotchet in UK English. Quaver, semi-quaver, demi-semi-quaver, hemi-demi-semi-quaver. So every time we have a value and semi, a value and semi, excluding crotchets, which used to be semi-minim. I hope this is useful. So a breve is equal to 2 semi-brevi. A breve is equal to 4 minims, because the minims are half semi-brevi. So 4. A breve is equal to, now, to answer these two questions, what we can do is a very quick and easy maths calculation. The quaver is in fact 1/8. That means that 8 quavers make a 1, a semi-breve. Now, because the breve is twice a semi-breve, so we just need to double this number. I hope it makes sense. 8 quavers make a semi-breve. We need 2 semi-brevi to make a breve, therefore 16. Similarly, the demi-semi-quavers are 1/32, so twice as much, 64. And I hope that this is clear. Otherwise, you can always count and use the fractions if you are familiar with maths and everything. I prefer this kind of thinking because it's also musical. It is important to think that this theory should be then put into practice when we play. And I'm sure that you're learning music theory because you are practicing an instrument or you are a singer. So you're practicing your own instrument, which is your voice. In a way or another, you would need to put into practice what you are learning. So try to think musically as well. Okay, exercise 2. Exercise 2 asks us to rewrite the notes, the given notes, in order from the shortest to the longest. The more things you have, the shortest the note it is. So a demi-semi-quaver, then a crotchet, then a dotted semi-breve, and then a breve. There you go. In this case, we have rests. Now, do not forget that this rest sits on the 3rd line, and it's the minim rest. This rest here hangs on the fourth line, and it's the semi-breve rest. So the shortest is the crochet. Then we have minim, then we have semi-breve, and then we have breve, where the rectangular is basically flipped. Is basically turned around. So it's not horizontal, but it's vertical. Next one is a mixture of rests and notes, well, one note. So we have the semi-quaver first, the dotted quaver next, and the minim, dotted minim next. Another mixture of things in the next one. So we have a breve, crochet, semi-breve, dotted semi-breve, and a minim. So crochet, minim, dotted semi-breve, and a breve. Now the dotted semi-breve is the semi-breve plus its half. Therefore, it's not enough to make a breve. So it's shorter than the breve. Last one. We have a crochet, demi-semi-quaver, dotted minim, and a semi-quaver. So, demi-semi-quaver first. Semi-quaver, crochet, semi-minim, and dotted minim. And that's it, done. Here is a little bit of a memo exercise and a little bit of thinking. But again, think musically, and remember, the more you have, the shorter the value is. Okay, let's turn the page. Exercise 3. In this exercise, we need to tick or cross whether we consider second melody a correct or incorrect version of the first bar, rewritten twice the value. In other words, is the second example the same melody but written twice the value or not? We have 4/4 in the first example, which means one semi-breve. And twice the value means one breve. And in fact, 4 halves means one breve. So now, the minim becomes a semi-breve. The quavers become semi-minim, crochets. The crochet becomes a minim, yes, and the semi-breve becomes a breve. So this is not twice the value. Also, we have an added rest, which adds up correctly within the bar, but is not this bar twice the value. So this is incorrect. Next one, from 4/4 to 4 halves, correct. The crochet becomes a minim, crochet becomes a minim, a quaver and a semi-quaver become a crochet and a quaver, and this is it. A crochet becomes a minim, and a dotted minim becomes a dotted semi-breve, and a crochet rest becomes a minim rest. This is correct. Next one, from 4/4 to 4 halves. Yes, correct. We have a quaver becomes a crochet, quaver becomes a crochet. 2 semi-quavers become 2 quavers. 1 quaver becomes 1 crochet, 1 dotted crochet becomes a dotted minim, and 1 quaver becomes a crochet. This is all correct. A breve becomes, a semi-breve becomes a breve. And this is the same example as here, but here it is correct. And now you see why. Last example, from 4/4 to 4/2, still correct. A minim becomes a semi-breve. 4 demisemiquavers become 4 semiquavers. Here we are. 1 quaver becomes 1 crotchet, and this is not correct. 1 quaver becomes 1 crotchet, this is not correct. And a quaver becomes a crotchet. So the correct version here would have been this. Crotchet, 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 3 crotchets. So this is incorrect. Done. Shall we move on to the next one? Exercise 4 is about double dotted notes and rests. In this exercise 4, we need to circle whether the statement is correct or incorrect. A double dotted crotchet is equal to a crotchet plus a dotted quaver. Okay, first of all, let's write it down. Double dotted crotchet is equal to a crotchet plus a dotted quaver. Okay, a dotted quaver is equal to a quaver plus a semiquaver. So this is equal to this plus a quaver plus a semiquaver. A double dotted crotchet is equal to a crotchet plus a quaver plus a semiquaver, because the double dot is half of its half. So the second dot is half of its half. So the first dot is the first half and the second dot is the half of its half. And you can see here that the two expressions are the same. So, true. A double dotted minim lasts longer than a dotted minim. Okay, in this case we already know that this is correct because the double dot adds something to the value of the note, and a dotted minim is less than a double dotted minim because of course the second dot means something, otherwise we wouldn't use it at all. So this is true. A double dotted quaver plus a semiquaver is equal to 1 crotchet. So a double dotted quaver plus a semiquaver is equal to 1 crotchet. Now this means that we have 1 quaver plus 1 semiquaver plus 1 demisemiquaver. Okay, this is the meaning of this. Plus this semiquaver here. Now 1 quaver and these 2 semiquavers are already equal to a crotchet. So this note is additional. And this is false. They are not the same. This is longer than this. A double dotted semibreve is equal to a breve. This is impossible because a dotted semibreve wouldn't make a breve. A double dotted semibreve is missing 1 crotchet to make up a breve. Okay, because the semibreve, double dotted semibreve is this. And a breve, to make a breve, we need another crotchet here to make the second semibreve. So this is incorrect. I hope this is useful and clear. Let me know if not, and please leave me a comment as ever. I always read them and I always reply. Thank you. Let's move on to exercise 5. Okay, exercise 5 is asking us to create a note that is in fact the sum of all the notes before. the equal sign. So 1 minim plus 1 double dotted crotchet plus 1 semiquaver equals 2. I know it already because you can pair them up. You can skip one and pair them up. Skip one value. This crotchet dotted is equal to a crotchet plus a quaver plus a semiquaver, which paired with this, so these two together make a quaver. These two together make a crotchet, and these two together would make a minim. So a minim plus another minim is a semibreve, and here it is. Okay, I hope this is useful. Two of them make a quaver. A quaver plus a quaver make a crotchet plus another crotchet make a minim. A minim plus a minim equals semibreve. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. A quaver plus a triplet of semiquavers plus a dotted minim. Okay. A triplet of semiquavers is equal to 2 of the same kind, therefore these, which are in fact a quaver. A quaver plus a quaver is a crotchet. Okay, so all of this is a crotchet. A minim plus a crotchet equals a semibreve, another one. A minim plus a semibreve plus 2 quavers plus 1 crotchet. Okay, let's go from the shortest values. Of course, we need to start from the shortest values because we need to add up, okay, make a bigger sum, so we can't go from the other way around. 2 quavers equals 1 crotchet. 2 crotchets equals 1 minim. Okay, so all of this is a minim. 2 minims equals 1 semibreve, and 2 semibreve equals 1 breve. Done. Now a subtraction. 1 breve minus 1 minim. Okay. 1 breve is made up of 2 semibrevi. Now, 1 semibreve stays, so this is definitely 1 semibreve here. 1 semibreve loses a minim, therefore we have left another minim. These two together can be written as a dotted semibreve. A triplet of minims plus a semibreve equals, a triplet of minims is 2 of the same kind, so 2 minims equals a semibreve. 2 semibrevi equals 1 breve. By the way, the breve could be written also with 1 line. Last one, a dotted semibreve minus 1 crotchet minus 1 minim. Okay, a semibreve, a dotted semibreve is a semibreve and a minim. Now, a minim minus a minim means 0. Okay, so we have a semibreve left minus 1 crotchet. Now, a semibreve is equal to 2 minims. 1 minim loses 1 semi-minim, so 1 crotchet, and this is what we have left. And this is a dotted minim. Okay, so go in order. As usual, step by step. Do not rush because we can't, we don't want to, we want to understand and we want to be right. Okay, let's turn the page together, shall we? In exercise 6, we need to add a rest to complete the bar. And they remind us that a demi-semiquaver rest has 3 flags, but obviously the symbol, the note symbol, has also 3 flags, so they are the same. Okay, let's see what is missing here. We are in 4/4, so we need 4 crotchets. One is here, one is here, one is here. And why can I say this? Because they are grouped together. If we want to calculate it, we have a quaver plus a semiquaver plus a demi-semiquaver, and this is it. Another demi-semiquaver here makes it another semiquaver. These two make a quaver. These two are a crotchet. Okay? So this stands on its own. This stands on its own, stands on its own, and here something is missing. A triplet of semiquavers is 2 of the same kind, so it's a quaver that we have here. We need another quaver. Here it is. All of this for just a quaver. Okay, next one. 3/2 means 3 minims. So 1 crotchet, where do I start from? The easiest thing, the thing that grabs my attention. 1 crotchet and the other crotchet, that is 1 minim. Okay, this is 1. Then we have, I think this is another minim, because we have a crotchet, a quaver, and a semiquaver that pairs with this. These two make a quaver plus this quaver makes a crotchet, and these 2 crotchet makes a minim. So this is it. What do we need? A minim rest. And remember, the minim rest sits on the 3rd line, as opposed to the semibreve rest that hangs on the 4th line. So don't confuse them. 3/4. It means 3 crotchets. We have 1 here and another crotchet here, the dot and the quaver. As you can see, I always pair 2 values of the same kind, because if I pair them, I create a 1 higher value. So step by step, I go up, I go up, I go up until I have to stop, because I can't merge values anymore. So 1 crotchet and the other crotchet. Okay, then we have 1 quaver, 1 semiquaver, and a demi-semiquaver. This is not paired. We need another one. If we have another one of this, we can pair the equivalent, the semiquaver, with this, making a quaver, and this quaver would pair up with this to make a crotchet. So we need a demi-semiquaver rest. And here it is. Last one, 4/2, which means 4 minims in a bar. 1 minim is here, so this is 1. 1 minim is here, this is 2. 1 minim is also here. Now we have part of a minim here and part is the rest. So we have, on the 4th minim, we have a crotchet, a quaver, and we need another quaver, so a quaver rest. When we have the double dot, basically we skip a value. Between the minim and the quaver, there is a crotchet and we skip 1. So every time you have a double dot, you skip 1 value and you pair it up with the next one down. Okay, here we have a quaver, we skip the semiquaver, demi-semiquaver. Here we have a quaver, we skip the semiquaver, same, and we have a demi-semiquaver. Here we have a minim, we skip a crotchet and we have a quaver. That makes things quicker. Okay, done. Exercise 7. Here we need to add the bar lines. None of them have been added, so we need to really do everything. 4 halves means 4 minims or 1 breve. So 1 minim is these 2 crotchets, and then we have the other minim, and this is the first semi-breve. We need another semi-breve to make the first bar. So here it is, bar 1. A breve stands on its own, bar 2. Now let's count slowly. We need 1 semi-breve, 4 crotchets, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and this is the first. This is the first. Let me do this. This is the first semi-breve. Then we have 1 minim. As we said on the previous exercise, we need to skip 1 value to pair it up. So 1 minim, we skip a semi-minim, the crotchet, and we have the quaver. So this is another semi-breve. This is it. Because we have 1 minim and 1 minim. 1 minim is here, 1 minim is all these things, the 2 dots and the quaver. Okay? Then we have a dotted semi-breve, which means a semi-breve and a half, and this is the other half. So it adds up correctly. So we were right. Always, always, always check from the end of the piece, check backwards, because it could be that we missed something and something got wrong, or we were distracted or something. So it's always worth checking backwards. Number 2, 2/4. We need 2 crotchets. 1 minim is already 2 crotchets, so bar line. This is a crotchet and then double dotted crotchet, so we skip 1 value, as we said before. If you haven't heard it, go to exercise 6 where I explain why. So 1 crotchet, we skip 1 quaver and we pair it up with the semi-quaver. That means twice as much as the first. So this is the second minim, another bar line. If I want to do this, so there is a crotchet, there is a quaver, and there is a semi-quaver. 2 semi-quavers equals a quaver. 1 quaver plus 1 quaver is another crotchet, and 2 crotchets make a minim. Then we have 1 crotchet dotted, so this is a quaver, and the other quaver is this. A triplet of semi-quaver is equal to 2 of the same kind. Therefore, 2 semi-quavers, therefore a quaver. So crotchet plus a quaver plus another quaver. Minim. Now guys, use your eyesight. I don't write much because you need to put in practice what you are learning here. And if you never do this, you will never improve your sight reading. And sight reading is important for every musician, especially for professionists. So don't dismiss the importance of sight reading, because it makes you learn quicker. And to have a good sight reading, you need to know theory. And you need to train your eyes to pair up things and count as a consequence of that. Okay, so 1 quaver, 1 crotchet plus the dot plus its other half. These 2 are a crotchet for the same reason, a quaver plus the other quaver, the 2 semi-quavers paired up, and the other crotchet is here. So 1 crotchet, 1 crotchet, 1 crotchet, the other crotchet. This is it. Are you happy? If you have any doubts, leave a comment, because I always read them and I can always answer your questions, your doubts and everything. So please leave a comment. Okay, in this third example, we have a lonely crotchet on its own and then a bar line. This happens when the bar is incomplete. The first bar is incomplete and we call it anacrusis. And the only place where a bar could be incomplete is the first and the last one. And the last one could be incomplete when the first one is incomplete, to balance that. It doesn't always happen, but often. Okay, 4/4, 4 crotchets. This is 2 crotchets, this is the other 2 crotchets, done. Why? Because we have 1 crochet here, and of course this is the other crochet. Crochet, the other crochet, 4. Crochet, the other crochet, crochet, the other crochet, 4. Crochet, the other crochet, crochet, the other crochet, 4. Crochet, the other crochet, and crochet. And this proves what I said before. This is the incomplete ending to compensate this, to balance this anacrusic start. And I hope this makes sense. Let's move on. 3 halves, 3 minims, where we don't count the anacrusis. So 1 minim, 1 minim, 1 minim, bar line. 1 minim, 1 minim, 1 minim, a crochet and another crochet. Here, why don't we have a dotted minim, double dotted? Because here we could write a dot, the crochet, and the dot. So double dotted minim. We can't. This is incorrect because we need to see 3 minims. This is important for grouping. Grouping means that we need to see 3 groups of minims, okay? So if we merge these together, we make a semibreve. Therefore, we see the first 2 groups of minims merged together, and this is not possible. So this is why. We need to see 1, 2, and 3. And I hope that this is clear, because this is very confusing for all the students. Remember, always from the time signature, 3 halves means 3 minims. So we need to see 3 items of things. And things in this case are minim. It could be 3/4, and it means 3 crochets. It could be 3/8, and it's 3 quavers. It could be 3/16, and it could be 3, and it is 3 semiquavers. Okay? It always from the time signature. 1 semibreve equals 2 minims. So we already have 2. And we need the third one, which is this. Now you can ask me here, why is it possible to merge the first 2 minims? Because in this case we can. In this case we can't, because there is another note here. So not to confuse us, it will be very confusing to see this. It will be very confusing. We can't. We need to see 1, 2, and 3. But in this case, a semibreve really makes us count to 2 minims. So it is possible. So 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and a half, because it compensates this anacrusis. So no bar lines here. No bar lines here. Nine eighths means 9 quavers grouped in 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Now, use your eyesight. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's grouped together, so we don't need to analyze every single thing here. They are grouped together. Do not stop the flowing of your reading. This helps your sight reading. I will never get tired saying that. Here we have 2 quavers and 1 quaver. So we have 3 quavers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Why? Do we need to count here? Not really, because these 2 are grouped together. So that means that they are in the same counting, in the same 1, 2, 3. Okay? Sorry, this was not neat. Also this one. Oh, sorry. 1, 2. This must be the third. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This includes 2 movements. So this is a twice the dotted crotchet basically. This equals to this. And could be merged together for the same reason of this. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it is all correct. I've done everything correctly. Now, if I would be in trouble here, I could go backwards. So I start from the easiest thing and then I go backwards. Of course, I can't start halfway through because I need the beginning of the bar, but I can start easily from the beginning, from the end, or from a safe place halfway through. And I hope this makes sense. Now, we can move on to exercise 8 that talks about an irregular amount of notes in compound. In compound time, 3 items make a movement because it's compound. So 2 items would not fit. And we need to put a duplet, a 2 sign. Otherwise, this doesn't add up correctly. This without this wouldn't be possible in 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It can't be, but it is with a duplet sign. Let's have a look. If you're confused here and you have no idea what to do, think of this. We need to answer the question, how many quavers do we have? Do we have 6 quavers, 9 or 12? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 are already 6. So we can exclude 6/8. The duplets equals 3 of the same kind. So we have 12. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And 12/8 is 12 quavers grouped in 3. They are 4 groups of 3 quavers. So 12/8. Again here, quick, quick, quick. Flow like music. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How many? 9. Oh, sorry, the beats. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How many? 9. Let's double check here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 9. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 9. So in 9/8 we have 3 movements of 3 quavers each. How many here? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it is 6. 1, 2, 1, 2. This means 2 movements of 3 quavers each. Sorted. Shall we move on? And don't forget to leave me a comment for anything you want to tell me. I hope I'm making things clear. At least I'm trying to make you flow. Because of course we need to be confident and we need to be helped by our eyesight. Exercise 9. Okay, here we have a number of bars rewritten in simple or compound time. We need to add an X or V depending on the fact that they have been developed correctly or not. Now remember, in compound time, 3 quavers, so an odd number of items, is possible, actually is essential. On the other hand, in a simple time, they can't. So they need a sign. They need the triplet sign, which means that amount of notes is irregular, but the value is regular. They could fit, basically. They squeeze in. Similarly, in simple time, 2 is the essential subdivision, but in compound time, 2 items are not enough. We need a third thing of the same kind. So, 3 becomes okay, and 2 becomes a duplet. Yes, correct. 4/4 becomes 12/8. Yes, because we need 4 movements. 4 crotchets, 4 movements. So 4 movements of crotchets, 4 movements of quavers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, a crotchet becomes a dotted crotchet to fill up the movement, because of course here we have 2 quavers, but here we need 3 for the same reason of this. 2 quavers need it's the same but with a duplet, so this is incorrect. It should have been this. A triplet would fit perfectly, and the crotchet would have a dot. So this is incorrect just for this. Let's move on. 3 movements of crotchets become 3 movements of quavers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Correct. A crotchet becomes a dotted crotchet. A triplet becomes a simple 3 quavers, and 2 notes become a duplet. Correct. 4 movements of quavers becomes 4 movements of crotchets, so 4/4. Correct. Now, 1, 2, 3 quavers. Don't get confused by the semi-quavers here. 1, 2, and 3. They fit perfectly. What does happen to these? We need a triplet sign. So the same thing with a triplet sign. Perfect. A duplet becomes simple. Duplet becomes simple. And a dotted crotchet becomes a simple crotchet. Perfect. Excellent. 6/8 becomes 2/4. Correct. A dotted crotchet becomes a crotchet. Now, here we have 1, 2, and 3 quavers, okay? These groups of quavers, they are regular in a compound time. In simple time, they need a triplet sign. So this is what is missing here. So this is incorrect. Nine-eighths becomes 3/4. 3 movements of quavers become 3 movements of crotchets. A duplet becomes simple 2 quavers. A 3 quavers, it's the same with a triplet sign. And then this is the equivalent of 3 quavers. It's basically this. And so we need the same with a triplet sign. Perfect. Next, 4/4 becomes 12/8 because 4 movements of crotchets becomes 4 movements of quavers. 1 crotchet becomes a dotted crotchet, and this is the first mistake. 1, 2 becomes the same with a duplet sign. Sorry, this is not very clear as a dot, as a quaver rest. Okay, 2. Then we have these 3 becomes the same, but this is incorrect. 1, 2, 3. So they are this basically. 1, 2, and 3 quavers. And then we have a crotchet which should become a dotted crotchet. So Everything here is incorrect. They also added another dotted crotchet, which is irrelevant here. If you count here, there are 2 more quavers. So definitely not. Okay, this is all done. And I hope that this is clear. Think musically. Let's move on. Exercise 10. We need to add the missing bar lines. Okay, 9/8 means 9 quavers. So 1, 2, 3. A duplet means 3 quavers in the space of, well, it's 2 quavers in the space of 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. We have another bar. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it was correct. Perfect. Next one. We need to count to 12. So we need to add the 3 quavers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Flow, yeah? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And this, we don't need to count, is a semibreve. A dotted semibreve is equal to 8 quavers plus its half, so 12 quavers. Why? Because 1/8 is the fraction that describes the value of a quaver. 8 quavers make a semibreve. The dotted is its half, so 8 plus 4 equals 12. But we don't need to double check because we trust the book that this is correct. 9/8, so we need to count to 9. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Do we need to double check here? No, they are grouped together, so no, just flow with the music. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The dotted minim is equivalent to 2 dotted crotchets, so this basically. Okay. Here we need to count to 12, and we have an anacrusic start. Therefore, we should expect an incomplete bar at the end. And is incomplete of as much as this, so a dotted crotchet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bar line. These are the same. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, here, if I'm not mistaken, we should have 3 times the 1, 2, 3 counting because we are missing this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And we can't put the bar line here. Okay? Because the bar is not complete. We could, because this is an exercise, okay, just to give it the sense of an ending, but in fact we know that the phrase is not, it's not finished, so I don't, but it is not, in this case it is not wrong if you do it, because in a piece, in reality, in a piece, even if we have an incomplete last bar, we have a double bar line. In this case, I leave it because this is not the end of the piece, but it's not even the end of the phrase. So I do it musically. 6 quavers. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Please note the tie. These can't be 2 crotchets because it's not a simple time, but it's compound. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Sorted. And I hope that my system is useful. I don't really fancy the maths calculations, you could do it if you want to feel safe. I always recommend to have a musical approach because this is what you are learning music theory for. Thank you, and I shall now solve the challenge because I know that my followers like it, so I'll do it for you guys. This challenge asks us to rewrite the given bars in compound time. Let's first check if the time signature is correct. We do trust the book, but I'm here to let you understand more deeply. So 4 crotchets means 4 movements of crotchets. So 4 crotchets basically. 12/8 means 4 movements of quavers, and the quavers are grouped in 3. So we have 4 groups of 3 quavers. A crotchet becomes a dotted crotchet. 2 quavers become 2 quavers with a duplet sign. A dotted crotchet again, and 3 quavers that fit perfectly within the compound time. And this is it. I hope I'm not writing too small. A minim becomes a dotted minim, and a quaver becomes a crotchet becomes a dotted crotchet, and a crotchet becomes a dotted crotchet, even if it is a rest. Sorted. It's easier than we think. 9/8 is equivalent to 3/4 in simple time. Yes, it does. So now we need to count the dots. So we have 1 crotchet. A duplet becomes a simple 2 quavers, and 3 quavers need a triplet sign now because this is irregular. This is irregular. 3 quavers fit perfectly in compound time, but not in simple time, because simple time requires 2 quavers. The subdivisions of the movements are 2 in simple times. In compound times, the subdivisions are 3. So we don't do 1 and 2 and 3 and, but we do 1 and 2 and 3 and. A dotted crotchet becomes a crotchet. A duplet is 2 simple quavers, and a crotchet dotted becomes a simple crotchet. That's it. I hope this was useful. Thank you for watching. Bye. Thank you for watching, sharing and liking my videos. Remember, tell your friends about it. If it was useful for you, it will be useful for other people too. Now, if you want to watch other tutorials on discovering music theory grade 4, click here now and enjoy learning. In the meantime, I'd like to thank all those who have messaged or emailed me and left a comment here. I'm glad that my videos were useful for you and let you feel more confident and strong when taking your exams. I'm here for this. Especially the ones who told me that thanks to my videos they got a distinction at their music theory exam, and this makes me very happy. Thank you so much. The merit is all yours, but thank you for letting me know. And of course, please do keep in touch. I love it. Thank you. Happy music. Bye.